Hello, my friends. Jim Gale coming to you from St. Cloud, Florida. I'm here overlooking the lake and our pasture and our rapidly growing food forest. We've got the cows in the distance. I'm not sure if you can see them. And we're planting thousands of edible and medicinal plants in the field. And we are 100% off grid. We produce all of our own food, water, and energy here on site. And the best idea that I've ever had was the idea to live free, to live without the chains and bondage of fear. And today, I want to share with you some strategies, some ways of thinking that helped me become free. I no longer have fear, at least not very often. I no longer have shame, at least not very often. I don't have anger or rage or pride, at least not very often. All of these things can be filters for reality. And what do I mean by that? So, reality is all around us all the time, right? The present, there's infinite different pieces of information coming to us, right? Whether it be the color of the wall or the thing on the TV, right? The program. Well, when we are engaged in an emotion or in some type of belief system or judgment, that judgment, that belief system, that BS filters how we perceive reality. So you could let's just take an example of Mother Teresa, right? Most people think of Mother Teresa as a person who helped heal and help a lot of people. Most people think of Mother Teresa as a saint almost. Whereas some people, I've heard stories, think of her in an opposite way. Well, when we have a belief system about any particular thing, and then we receive new information, the new information is filtered through the belief system filter. So you could have a group of 3 people, and somebody could say something about Mother Teresa or a politician. And one person will react a certain way to what is said. Another person might react the polar opposite way to what is said. So what does that mean, and how does that affect my life, right? And that's a question to ask yourself. How does that affect your life? Let's take anger. So yesterday, or 2 days ago now, I witnessed somebody become angry at somebody else. And as soon as the anger was present, the person lost their mind. All of their judgment, all of their kind of thoughtfulness, all of their sweetness, all of their logic went out the window. And it was replaced by anger. Now, the same goes for all of the, just for lack of a better term, right? To call them the 7 deadly sins, right? Envy, gluttony, greed, lust, wrath, pride, sloth. All of these, and by the way, the word sin means to miss the mark. Well, there's multiple definitions for the word sin, but one of them, the one that's most commonly used and misused, is simply to error or miss the mark, right? So if you're shooting arrows back a couple thousand years ago and you missed the mark, you sinned, right? Should you be harmed for that, right? Of course not. It's silly. But the point is that when we become aware of our energy systems, when we become aware of our belief systems, then through the awareness and only through the awareness can we make changes. Do we have a new choice? Right? The word choice is almost always misused because the word choice implies an awareness of choice. Somebody said, you had a choice. You could have done something different. Well, no, you couldn't have, right? In the mind, this is how it works. And this is one of the first presuppositions of neurolinguistics. Everybody always does the best they can in that moment based on the choices and the awareness available to them. Always. Now, does that mean that we allow people to do harm? Of course not, right? This isn't about absolving people of their actions. It's simply about becoming aware that those actions, the people that commit these crimes and these actions, aren't aware of a better choice, right? Their actions are based on their trauma and their suffering and their pain. So, how do we heal society? Well, not by getting angry at people for doing horrible stuff, not by screaming at them, not by throwing them. Well, we have to put some people, we have to subdue some people who are causing great harm. No doubt about it. Prisons, I think, will be around for a long time until we fully go through this ascension of human consciousness, right? So we need to put these folks away. But what do we do once they're behind bars, once they're locked up? Well, what we've been doing doesn't work. And we can see that. The United States has more of a prison population, I think, than any other country. And as a percentage, it's insane because it's become a business. Just like the medical system, just like the indoctrination system of our schools, these are simply just businesses. And by the way, little side note, they are all run by BlackRock and its subsidiaries, which is run by a computer named Aladdin, right? You can look that stuff up. They control everything. And why is it named BlackRock? Well, you tell me, because that's the intention. So there is some big stuff going on. This is a divine experience. It's a divine experience. I like to perceive this experience as Leela, the divine game. And what's the win of the game? It's awareness of who we truly are. So back to how do we become aware? How do we rise above our belief systems, our values, our judgments? How do we rise above, elevate, ascend from our current identity? Well, there's one way that's been proven over and over and over again. And that is when we give it up. When we give up our ego, our identity through meditation and relaxation and joy and creativity and presence and prayer. When we give up our belief systems, which, by the way, fall under our identity. Identity is up here. Belief systems are down here. Values and judgments create the belief systems that creates our identity. There's only one thing above, well, at least in my awareness, there's one thing above identity, and that is connection with our Creator, with the divine. Again, I grew up in Minnesota, so I use the word God. But if you grew up in a different part of the world and you were taught a different name for the creator, good. That's irrelevant. Presence is the solution to breaking up the identity, this belief system structure, our values, our judgments. Who do you hate? Well, if you hate anybody, hate is a cancer and it will kill its host, right? Who do you fear? If you fear anybody, fear is a cancer that will kill, that at the moment of fear, the host of that fear is not present, is not connected, does not have faith. We cannot hold fear and faith in our spirit, in our being, in our awareness at the same time. They are two polar opposite energy fields. Either you have faith or you have fear in that moment. So, how do we overcome our trauma? How do we overcome fear and these energy systems, these programs that enslave us? Take a deep breath with me now, my friends. Scan your body. Where do you feel tight? Where do you feel stress? Where do you feel contraction? Where do you feel scar tissue? And Dr. Wolf pops in my mind, the Wolf Non-Surgical. He did a procedure on me back about a year ago. It was life-changing. And I'm so thankful and grateful for that. Right? In fact, right here, my xiphoid process, it was massively, the cartilage was built up from some type of trauma, and in several other places as well. And it's no longer there. And I can breathe deeper now. I can move better. My lower back was all bound up and I can move better. Now, why is this relevant? Well, because scar tissue, well, let me say it this way. Emotions, right? Emotion, energy in motion. If that energy gets stuck because we don't have the capacity at that moment, especially children, if we don't have the capacity to witness and accept what is happening, we go through the stages of grief, right? And sometimes these stages may even be generational, right? They may be stored in our genetic codes somehow, somewhere, but they're definitely lifetime by lifetime. We have an experience, often as a kid, we experience trauma where we can't make sense of a situation. So instead of experiencing the DABDA, right? Denial, anger, bartering, depression, and acceptance, instead of experiencing the 5 stages of grief, we stop the process by concealing the energy flow or by literally efforting it away, or especially, well, this happens as kids too, kids that might eat as a way to stop feeling so bad. They might eat out of depression. You might eat out of depression, or they might do something destructive. Do you know that there's kids that are so detached from who they are in the real, from spirit and connection and feelings, that they will cut themselves simply to feel something, right? Or worse. This is all trauma induced. So what's the best way to overcome trauma? By being and focusing on the present. And then by asking questions around the trauma that help release the trauma. And by forgiving. Forgiveness is not done for the sake of the other person. Forgiveness is your greatest gift to yourself. Who are you pissed off at? Who do you hate? Now back to BlackRock and these media channels. What are they doing right now? Well, this couldn't be any more obviously a theater. And the intention of the theater is to control your mind. The program is to control your mind. Entertain mente. Enter the hold of the mind. Tain means to hold, retain. Mente is mind. Entertain mente means enter the hold of the mind. My friends, Trump and Biden and Kennedy, well, especially Trump and Biden, and probably Kennedy too, although I have this idea that he might rise above it. This is all theater, my friends. The goal of this theater is to program you to fear and anger and rage. This is the oldest program, the oldest war strategy in the book, to divide us and to conquer us. Right? I mean, I look at the Trump and Biden narrative and it really cracks my ass up. Like, you can't get two better actors. And I'm sure that I'm pissing some people off right now. Well, my intention is not to do that. My intention is to help you see past the charade, past the theater, past the programming, past the strategy to get you to hate the other side. Because that's the intention. And it is only through releasing that hate and seeing past the illusion, the strategy, that we will avoid civil war. So it's a big deal. Not something to fear, though. And why not fear? How do we get past this idea of fear? Because so many people are so stuck in fear. They say, but Jim, look what's going on. You know, the economy is unsustainable. The food systems are poisoned. Our school systems have failed. Our prison systems are overrun. There's war in 22 countries led by the colonial powers that be. There's suffering all around the world. 40 veterans or more are killing themselves every single day. Look at, there's so many reasons to be sad. There are also reasons to be happy. Now, you might not have the view that we've manifested here, but you can walk somewhere. You can go somewhere. You can sit in a tree somewhere. You can shut your eyes and you can dream. That's the most powerful thing we can do right now, is shut our eyes together and dream of a better world. Dream of a world of peace and joy and collaboration and abundance, my friends. And most importantly, at least for me, is to know that we are more than this physical reality. Even this, my friends, is an illusion. This is not the ultimate real. The ultimate real is that we are part of the omnipotence and omnipresence of our Creator, of the Creator. We are actually that. We are part of that, living an ego illusion, the illusion that we are separate from that, the illusion that we are not, the illusion that we are sinners and frauds. Yeah, sure we are. We've missed the mark. Yeah, sure, our egos are relatively stupid as shit, right? Should we hate our egos for that? Should we hate ourselves from that? That's the whole point of the game, is to overcome that illusion, right? Become part of, energetically, spiritually, thoughtfully, with presence as your ultimate guide. Become part of that feeling again, right? Feel the presence, the energy, the frequency of who you are. Take a breath. And feel the space between your ears. Feel your heart space. Feel your stomach space. Do you feel tightness in any of these places? Great. Go in deeply to that tightness and feel the expansion. Feel the loosening. Feel the void. Feel the space in the space. Feel the energy, the frequency. And if you're visual, then see it. See it as light. A bright, expansive light. Maybe a golden light or a purple light or a bright white light. Feel the expansion of that light, of that energy. If you feel it more, if you're more kinesthetic, then feel it as frequency. And you can also hear it. You can hear it. Imagine you're being in the tightness. Go right into that tightness with your energy, with your awareness, and listen. And you can hear the frequency, the buzzing. And love yourself. Forgive yourself. There's really nothing to forgive because we are the creator at this level of awareness. But forgive anyway. How does it feel to feel completely free of the suffering? Allow and enjoy the tears that are flowing. They are cleansing tears. Love them, thank them, enjoy them. Ground yourself. And this is real, by the way. Walk bare feet on the soil, on the grass, unless, of course, it's sprayed with poisons, and then walk on other grass that's not, on other soil that's not. By the way, dirt, my friends, is the cleanest thing. We've been taught to fear dirt and fear nature. And we've been taught that a hospital is a healthy sterile environment. That's such BS, my friends. A hospital is one of the most sick and destructive environments to our spirit and our bodies. Love yourself. Feel the love. In fact, how does it feel to feel inspired? How does it feel to feel connected with Source? How does it feel to feel love? How do I feel when I feel loving? How do I feel when I feel open-minded or willing? How do I feel when I feel joyful? Write a list of questions down. Maybe put it on your fridge, or maybe set your alarm every hour. And then ask your favorite, most empowering and inspiring questions to yourself about yourself. Questions are the tactic, and feelings are the gateway to the new you, the real you, the true you, the connected you, the creative you. So get in touch with those feelings and stay in touch with them. And they are only found in the present, in the connection, in the communion with who you truly are. Love, my friends, and have a great day.